Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Kamila. In this video, I will present a presentation about learn and teach a foreign language. And here are 10 articles that I have found. The first article, Reason to learn a foreign language. Boosts academic achievement. Another study found that kids whose families spoke a second language at home scored better on cognitive tests than those whose family only spoke one language. Provides professional and career advantages use language other than English. While not all positions in export necessarily requires a second language, it is important to remember that 6.8 million American workers are employed by international companies operating in the United States. Employers rely on employees with language skills other than English. Employers lose business due to a lack of language skills. Provide broader access to education and information. If you speak another language, you could earn a degree in another country, which could end up being a less expensive way to get a college education. Increase national security. On the national security front, various federal agencies and departments concerned with national security, including the FBI, CIA, and Departments of State, Homeland Security, and Defense, need more agents and employees who can speak and understand another language. The next article, How to Learn a Foreign Language. The best way to learn a foreign language is by speaking. To not mumble or at least learn how to say don't know in the language you are trying to learn. Learning a language can shorten the journey to fluency. You can't speak a foreign language without feeling stupid at some point. Learning a foreign language is a must in Europe. Learning a foreign language with native speakers via email, text chat, voice chat, or meetings to exchange face-to-face conversation. There are many reasons to learn a foreign language, from working in another country to finding your roots, to intellectual curiosity, romance, travel. Language learning is a very cumulative process. It is like making tower of books. You continue to put the 12 rules for learning a foreign language in the recorded time. Ways to beat your fears and start speaking a foreign language. That's why it's said that speaking is the hardest part of learning a foreign language. Learning a new foreign language is never easy, but it's much more difficult if you fall in the trap. The second reason is that language is something that needs to be cultivated, not memorized. Over the years, popular methodologies for second language learning is focused on grammar and sentence first, and then on vocabulary. Many studies have shown that the benefits of learning a second language not only on students' linguistic abilities, but on cognitive and creative. The next article, The Importance of Learning Foreign Language in Today's World. Learning a foreign language opens up employment opportunities. If you are already working, knowing a foreign language may lead to special recognition or promotions. Apart from the financial gains, learning a foreign dialect can offer a unique experience to travelers. People who love to explore different parts of the world, know about diverse culture, place, and lifestyle. Knowing the local language can offer a life-changing experience. Another reason why you should learn a foreign language is that the knowledge of a foreign language enhances your cognitive and analytical abilities. Learning a foreign language is tough and involves a lot of mental exercise. The need of language faculties has increased due to the growing interest in students to learn foreign language. Ability to speak a foreign language enables them to communicate and serve people better. Learning a foreign language will lead to long-term success. The next article, Why is it important to learn a foreign language? If you are thinking about making the effort to learn a foreign language, rather than expecting the world to accommodate your monolingualism, you are a breed indeed. When you learn a foreign language, you don't need to be an Anthony Bourdain to find the best local group. Learning a foreign language opens up a world of job opportunities. It's no secret that learning a foreign language can improve your employment prospects. Even in small local companies, chances are that the ability to speak a second language will set you apart from other applicants. With globalization in full swing, there's a good chance you will be working with people whose first language isn't English. Language help express our feelings, desires, and connect with other humans around us and forms meaningful relationships. Speaking a foreign language not only opens up a massive pool of potential friends, but it also acts as an instant common denominator when you meet native speakers. The next article, interesting local culture in English language. The need to learn and use English in communication has put English as the most important foreign language in the world wide, and not to mention in this country, Indonesia. Following Nikolov, Gonzalez states that the domains in which English is used as an international and auxiliary language for intercultural and intercountry and regional communication, financial and global financial transaction, and the language of trade, negotiation and the medium of discourse of international business. They always try to use various interesting activities and explanation to present the context of language items, accompanied by the context of culture items in which it is used. The current English language teaching practice may lead the students to have better understanding on foreign culture rather than their own culture, or even in the extreme way will lead them to make the foreign culture values in their daily lives. Some of your some of our young students may have deep understanding on the foreign culture rather than mastering the language. Teaching English as a foreign language, vocabulary teaching and the dictionary. There is a large amount of research on the use of dictionary for language learning, especially reading skill, and the results vary. The issue of dictionary use interests me greatly since there is a tendency for language learners in Indonesia to assume that possessing a dictionary is compulsory for language learning. In reality, however, students often do not have sufficient skill to use the dictionary, especially those at the high school level. This is understandable since using a dictionary in language learning is actually quite a complex text. Instruction in a dictionary use can be used as a form of vocabulary instruction. Next article, importance of language. While learning a second language is important, language impacts the daily lives of members of any race, creed, and region of the world. Language helps express our feelings, desires, and queries to the world around us. Communicating directly with clients and companies in their native language is one of the first steps to finding a lasting, stable, and international business relationship. Language is such a key aspect to setting up children for success in their future. Most institutions offer opportunities to learn a foreign language at even earlier age. In recent years, psychologists such as Agnes Covert have studied the intelligence and mental capacity of young bilingual children in comparison to monolingual children. Any hiring manager in any company in the world would tell you that the ability to speak a foreign language is a prized commodity. Through this, we are setting up ourselves, our children, and our children's children for growth, success, security, and ultimately prosperity. Strong language skills are an asset that will promote a lifetime of effective communication. The next article, the significance of interesting local culture in English language teaching. In life with the notion of character education, the practice of foreign language teaching, particularly English language teaching, in this country need to have much attention in terms of the internalization of other culture. Fernandia claims that whenever you teach a language, you also teach a complex system of cultural customs, values, and ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. It can be stated that culture can be seen as a design for living that gives meaning to ways and forms of commonly accepted behaviors of a particular society. Meanwhile, the learners are also need to learn not only the language, but also learn the culture of the society using it. This phenomenon is particularly common in the practice of foreign language teaching owing to the fact that to be able to actively communicate using a foreign language, one needs to have not only a good proficiency of the language, but also a comprehensive understanding of its culture. They must be aware of the internalization of foreign culture in the practice of foreign language teaching. They need to be more careful in explaining materials containing cultural content in order not to make their students having a new semantic frame on their own cultures. The term local culture in this sense is closely related to the term tradition, which can be defined as inherited by behavioral custom remain practiced in the society, coming from the judgment or assumption that everything formerly exists in the right ones. This article English is foreign language. Learners of English as foreign language have a choice of language variety to a large extent than second language learners. But the role of English at a given point in time may affect both the way it is taught and the resultant impact on the daily life and growth of the individual. The place of English is in the life of many second foreign language learners today is much less easy to define than it was some years ago. Such a situation throws up the useful distinction between public and private language. Malta English tends not to be used for the most private purpose, and the speaker's emotional life is expressed and developed largely through the mother tongue. Where, however, no widely used mother tongue is available between speakers, as in West Africa or Papua New Guinea, the second language, English, is likely to be needed for both public and private language functions. The next article, English as a first language and second language. Unlike French, which continues to be based upon metropolitan culture, the English language has taken on a number of regional forms. English is the language of commercial, administrative, and educational institution. As in Ghana or Singapore, each variety of English marks a speech community, and in motivational terms, learners of English may wish to feel themselves members of a particular speech community and identify a target variety accordingly. The opposite view, often taken by Singaporean speakers of they are Chinese speakers of English in a community which has a distinctive form of the language. It can be seen that the Chinese Singaporean is motivated to learn English for integrative purpose, but it will be English of the Southeast Asian variety which achieves his aim, rather than British, American, or Australian varieties. So, that's all my presentation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.